Hey everybody, I'm Todd Anderson.
And I'm Ross Merriam.
And you're watching the Versus series by StarCityGames.com. Today is day 3 of our Blue-Red Wizards Gauntlet. We're currently 1-1, losing to Mono Green Tron, which I think Tron is generally favored against fair matchups in general. What do you think?
Yeah, for the most part, you really need a unique combination of a clock, some way to take them off of Tron, and some other form of disruption, whether it be discard or counter spells. And it's really hard to assemble all of those pieces within the time frame you need to actually beat Tron. So generally the decks that are favored against it are decks that are just killing them on turn 3 and sort of are able to ignore what they're doing, but it's just a deck that's so hard to interact with. I've generally liked playing decks like Blue Moon against it, even though your clock isn't great, you just prioritize like snap bolting them a lot and get there that way. And I think the Blue-Red Wizards deck does actually have a lot of good pieces. It does have a clock, it does have a couple Alpine Moons in the sideboard and some counter spells, but in game ones, without access to Alpine Moon, having to beat them on 7 and 10 mana is really tough when they've got Ulamogs and World Breakers. That
even just Walking Ballista is just a huge pain for the deck. Just almost all my creatures have 1 toughness, and like a Resolve Walking Ballista is always going to be a 2-for-1 at the very least.
Yeah, I think you're probably. I almost think you're slightly ahead in the post-board games, but I think you're behind enough in game 1. Overall, the matchup's not great.
Yeah.
And we split the post-board games. I got the game 1. That's how it played out. But
I think, I felt like I even got pretty lucky to win game 3. So I don't know that I'm actually favored post-board. I think I have the tools to be favored, but it requires a little bit of luck by having like an early Delver that flips. Like I have to be able to put pressure on you. And when you start sideboarding and stuff like Spatial Contortion, you just get Tron early enough so you can play like a big Thrag, an early Thragtusk or early Walking Ballista, like these mid-gamey cards. Like those are even tough to beat. It's not like I'm just trying to beat your 7, 8, 10 drops or whatever. I'm trying to beat your 4 or 5, 8, 7 drops.
Yeah, and that is definitely a problem too. The fact that you have to be cognizant of every single threat up the curve, but definitely a deck where you do have good tools. It's just a matter of putting them together and putting them together really quickly, and that's tough. So we're 1-1. First 2 days we played against decks where your counter spells are really important. Today we're shifting gears. We're giving you the test of what right now it was the best performing deck at the Open in Indianapolis, which is the most recent tournament as of filming. And it's a matchup where your lightning bolts are going to be really important. We're playing against humans.
Yeah, so this matchup, cards like Grim Lavamancer, Wizard's Lightning, Lightning Bolt, these are going to be high priority cards to find off my dig spells like Opt. And my counter spells are going to be pretty bad. Cards like Cavern of Souls and Ether Vial invalidate a lot of my interaction. I think pre-board, I actually might be a little bit of an underdog if I draw just the wrong half of stuff.
Yep.
Like if I draw a bunch of Lightning Bolts and Snapcaster Mages and stuff like that, that's going to be troublesome for you. But there's just a chance where I don't draw that early enough and you get a Champion of Paris that ends up being a 4-4, and then I might just die.
Yeah,
So
you have to stop basically any creature that before it gets to a 4-4 in the pre-board games. You've got a couple options to kill bigger creatures post-board with a Roast and an Entrancing Melody. Still not a lot. On my side, it's going to be a real test of the new addition to humans. It's Militia Bugler, and it's a card that has allowed human decks to be a little bit more resilient to heavy removal strategies, and that's what we're facing today. So I'm really going to keep my eye out for how often I get to sort of chain Buglers or just get a 2-for-1 here and there, and if that's good enough that I can still establish a significant clock and a good battlefield in the face of a couple bolts on the first 2 or 3 turns.
Yeah.
So a few key dynamics there to watch out for, but I think we're just going to get straight to the games.
Yeah, let's go ahead and do it and see who takes down between Blue-Red Wizards and humans. All right, here for the die rolls. So you goes first. 7, you lose. 11, you win. If you roll a 7, the other person rolls an 11. The 11 goes first all 3 games.
So far, Todd has won
all the die rolls. We're going to keep it going. I'm going to be 10-0 by the end of this. I was 5-0. Ooh. Oh, come on, baby.
7.
Ah, got him. Oh, take me to Vegas. Well, my opener is not great in this matchup, but I would 100% keep it in the dark. So we're going to keep it.
My opener is also not great in this matchup, but again, would keep in the dark, and I have my best turn 1 play, so I'm in.
Ether Vial on 1 is the best.
Cavern named Human. Play Vial.
Oh, you also have Cavern, so that's good.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to go ahead and play an op. Now that we know what he's playing, Vendilion Click's not it. We're basically searching for bolts now. We don't want to draw any counter spells if possible. We're going to main phase this opt because if we draw a bolt, we're going to want to play Scalding Tarn, and if we draw nothing we can cast, we're going to want to play Wandering Ephemeral. So, all right, we're going to bottom that. All right, Ephemeral it is. Your turn.
Okay, let's go to 1. And I'm going to run out this Meddling Mage. Definitely naming Lightning Bolt on this one, just because Todd doesn't have a creature for Wizard's Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass the turn. If he'd had Grim, he would have cast it by now. Those are the 3 cards that I'm definitely naming. Later in the game, if Todd plays a few bolts, I'll probably Meddling Mage Snapcaster Mage.
Go.
Okay.
On your upkeep.
Okay, Vial Trigger on the stack.
I don't want him to be able to Phantasmal Image the Meddling Mage. Maybe that's wrong.
Trying to click me?
I'm thinking.
Sounds like you're trying to click me. Got Cycle Nimble Obstructionist, counter the Aether Vial Trigger. Really show me what's what.
Go.
Okay, 2. Okay. This is a weird spot. Todd pausing obviously tells me he has Vendilion Click. I have a hand that plays somewhat awkwardly around said click. And if I want to use my mana effectively, I just sort of have to run one of these out, which I'm generally okay doing. I don't think they're very good in the matchup. So I think that's what I'll do. Play a Reflector Mage. Attack if you do. Nimble Obstructionist. That resolves, and then before blockers, I'll vial an image on Reflector Mage and bounce it.
Yep, I'll
So
take
blank
2.
Todd's turn, get 2 more creatures on the battlefield. Not the best use of my Reflector Mages, but
So I'm at 18.
yeah, I really just want to get on board right now.
All right, I'm going to do this while he's tapped out. I'm going to Burst Lightning this and then Snap Burst that.
That's pretty good.
Your turn. Even though it has 3 toughness, the image has the triggered ability of when it gets targeted, it dies.
So my plan is to get this into play and pump my Reflector Mage. If I draw a 3-drop for my turn, I can just cast it and then vial. The only question is if I like brick and then cycle this Horizon Canopy and draw like a Mantis Rider, that's the only way I get punished. So I think I'm supposed to leave this on 2 for the turn. Well, that certainly counts as a brick. Let's pop this Canopy.
Yep.
Okay. So now what I want to do is Thalia's Lieutenant, put the trigger on the stack, put in Meddling Mage, name Lightning Bolt again, and now they'll all get a counter. Because with the Lieutenant putting counters on everything, I'll put the Mage into play.
Yep. I'll take 3 from the attack down to 15.
15 pass. So now I got 3/4, which is nice. It's out of bolt range. I've taken Lightning Bolt out of the equation.
Go.
And now I'll put this up to 3.
Sure.
Wow. Those were not good. Fumarole and Mutavaults are now threatening to trade down for many of my creatures, which is distressing. I will ugh. You got 4 over there.
Yep.
This is not great. Ugh. I'm just gonna attack.
Don't really want to do anything weird this turn. I'm still at 15, so I can take a chunk of damage here. I think I actually just want to block here.
Well, that's exactly what I didn't want to see happen.
I'll just cycle to counter. I don't want him to put a creature into play off of it. It's
Okay.
better that way than letting it come in, I think, and then countering that trigger just because it stops it from entering the battlefield for free.
So these are going to trade. You take 6.
Yep.
Is it 9?
9.
Post combat, I'll play a vial. Got
Yep.
the spell stutter.
Um,
This is like your one opportunity to spell stutter or something, right?
think I'll mana leak it. I don't know.
Yeah. I guess it's also like you're in one opportunity to mana leak something.
And it could come up later. I don't know. That just seems weird. All right. Go.
These draws have not been good. We'll continue mashing.
Fuck here. Okay.
Put in Reflector Mage, bounce a Mutavault.
I'm going to. This is stupid. I'm dead. Not dead, but that's bad. All right, the one you target, I'll float a mana.
Okay.
I'm gonna fetch down to 8. I'll play. Well, I guess I don't have to. I guess I need to use the mana. I'm gonna play Snapcaster, target opt, and then damage
Sure.
happens. I go to 5.
Brings you to 5. I will play another vial,
Sure.
and I'm gonna cavern on illusion.
Yep.
Even though I have ziggurats, I might need to cast an image if I draw one, and I can do like cast anything else. So maybe I'm not supposed to show Todd that, but do you top or bottom on that scroll?
Top. Go.
So you got 3 in hand.
4.
4. That's so many. Attack with those ones. Do not want to trade away this meddling mage.
All right. Block trade here.
Yep.
Take 2. I'm at 3.
Use the Cavern on Illusion.
Or sorry.
What are we thinking about now?
I'm gonna block here too and burst lightning trade.
Okay.
So I'm gonna stay at 5.
So you're still 5. I'm going to image this Meddling Mage and name Wizard's Lightning.
Okay.
So have both removal spells covered, both burst lightnings are gone. Pass a turn.
Go.
Let's move this to 2. Huh. Have a bit of an awkward play here. Because there's the potential for Nibble Obstructionist and Vendilion Cloak to ambush. And okay, activate Vial. Copy Meddling Mage. Name. Which one do I want to name? There's 3 Nibbles left and 2 Vendilion Clicks. I think you had spots where you could have cycled another Nibble Obstructionist on the Vial on 3 on the Reflector Mage for a second time, and you didn't. So I'm going to name Vendilion Click.
Okay.
And I'll attack for 3.
All right. I'll block it.
Now I'm dead. You can go.
An opt. Bottom of land. Go.
Attack.
I will block the one that says Wizard's Lightning.
Okay.
I'll bolt the other one.
You can go.
Go.
Activate.
Sure. Yep. Okay, I'm at 2.
Go.
All right. Opt.
Okay. Bottom.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you went. All right, we're here for sideboarding, and from my side, we're basically doing a clean swap of all 8 of our interactive counter spells in favor of 8 cards that can potentially kill things or steal things. Entrancing Melody is a newer addition to the blue family. It took the place of Threads of Disloyalty because it's a little bit better with Snapcaster Mage. It saw a little bit of play around the time Death Shadow was getting pretty big a few months back, just as a card, or I guess in the waning moments of Death Shadow, but it was a great way to, for 3 mana, you could just kill Death Shadow out of like a blue-red deck if you were over 13 life. Or if you were under 13 life, you could just steal it and have a creature. The rest of the removal spells are all pretty self-explanatory. Staticaster cleans up a lot of its 1 toughness creatures. It's also pretty good against Phantasmal Image. In tandem with things like Magma Spray or Burst Lightning, I can use it to kill 3 toughness things. Rose is just 2 mana, kill anything that's not Mana Strider or Freebooter, which I like. It's my one out to something that gets bigger than 4, I guess, with 1 spell.
Hits.
Or sure. And then Braid is pretty good because it deals with either Ether Vial or a creature.
Yeah.
These counter spells, with like we talked about pre-game 1, Ether Vial and Cavern of Souls are miserable to play against. We saw in game 1, I mana leaked a turn 7 Ether Vial or whatever. Like, it just doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Just get it out.
Yeah, when you have a counter spell in your hand and they go Cavern Vial, you might as well throw it away.
Yeah.
on my side, we saw how awkward Reflector Mage can be in this matchup because of all of Todd's creatures enter the battlefield or become creatures at instant speed. Guy was forced to Vial in Reflector Mage, bouncing Mutavault, which can immediately be replayed next turn because it's a land, and it says cast spells with that same name, the way Reflector Mage is worded. So just an awkward card to use. I essentially need a Vial on 3 for Reflector Mage to be effective. I don't think these games are going to be much about tempo in the post-board games. Todd just has so much more removal. I really want to just be able to grind through it. So I've got Staticaster that can take out Todd's creatures. I've got Sing Collectors that are guaranteed 2-for-1. Militia Bugler as a 2-for-1. And then a couple more removal spells in the Gut Shots. I'm also cutting Meddling Mage. I don't like this card against any deck that presents a very wide array of removal spells. And while game 1, I was able to make Todd's draw a little awkward by naming Lightning Bolt and then copying it with Phantasmal Image to name Wizard's Lightning, I think in the post-board games especially, once Staticaster, Abrade, Magma Spray, Roast...
There's just too many different
Yeah,
ones.
just too many different ones. I'm cutting down on these. I'm a little wary leaving in 3 images because of how vulnerable this image is to Staticaster, but it's still just really good in the deck, copying Thalia's Lieutenants. It's very good with Militia Bugler, and it can copy Sing Collector to get... extra cards out of Todd's hand. So
Yeah, I mean, there's 2 liability paths for Phantasmal Image. One is Staticaster from my side. It'll just clean it up without any fuss or fuss. And then sometimes it can get stuck in your hand if I'm able to clear off all of your creatures on the battlefield.
Yes.
Those 2 scenarios are bad, but every other scenario is good. Copying a Bugler, copying Sing Collector, even copying like Thalia's Lieutenant, a Manus Rider if I don't, I'm going to be using removal spells to kill it for the most part, unless it's Staticaster.
Yep.
All right, we're here for game 2. I'm on the play, and this is a risky one, but in the past I've said I keep any hand that has blue mana and Serum Visions, and Op's pretty close.
Yeah, Optus is a better card than Serum Visions,
Well,
except
that's-
in this scenario.
Wow, okay. My hand is very good for the matchup, as long as I draw red.
My hand is a little bit slower than last time. We have our worst 1-drop instead of our best, but a very good mix of stuff, and all our cards are great.
Wait, what's your worst 1-drop? Noble? Go.
Oh, Hyric's great.
Champion's your worst 1-drop?
Yeah.
You are a fool.
It's the worst one.
Have you ever played this deck before?
I mean, Champion's still really good.
Oh,
but
crap. Sorry.
It's the worst 1-drop.
I was talking. I forgot. All right. I want to keep it. Wow. That was nice. All right. Draw.
It's definitely the worst of the 3.
18. You're good.
When I have Noble Champion in my opening hand, I play Noble on turn 1.
Yeah. But if you have any 1-drop, your deck is great.
Well, that was an awkward time to draw it, but I think I'm going to
Attack for 1.
Yep.
So that means he's going to play Neitherval this turn. There's no way he keeps his hand and doesn't have a 2-drop or drew a Neitherval. So I'm just going to kill it. Yeah. All right.
Actually, I'm going to play this one. You can go.
all right. Opt.
Sure.
I'm going to keep that one. I need to draw another red mana, though. Huh, go. Please don't have Staticaster. I'm a little bottlenecked on red mana right now, though, so this could be a lot worse than I think it is. Did you draw Staticaster?
Nope. But I did draw Gut Shot. Get him out of here. We got a game now.
That's all right. I didn't have enough red mana anyway.
18 all.
Yeah. My go?
Not so fast. I am going to
Go to 17.
and Sin Collector.
It's pretty good.
I will take a Lightning Bolt.
Get going.
Pretty good hand there.
Yeah.
A little light on lands.
Kept Opt Island with a bunch of bolts and Wizard's Lightning. Go. Actually, you might have an image. I think I want to just go ahead and kill this. I mean, if I get hit with a Manus Rider, that's fine. I guess getting hit with 2 Manus Riders is not fine. What are you going to do?
That's pretty cool. So let's take 1 to 16 and play a Bugler.
Brick, 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 brick.
Um,
Oh, he's got options. That's a tilt. Beginning to think this matchup might not be very good.
So select
God, I'm so dead.
Phantasmal Image
Yeah.
and
Bounce it.
I think what I want to do. So I could just copy the bugler now, but I think I would rather get this thing up above 3 toughness. So I'm gonna play Lieutenant. Lieutenant is likely to die to a regular removal spell, and in case that happens, I want to have this noble hierarchy be a little bit bigger. So I'm gonna noble first. I got 15.
Yep.
Then I'm gonna vial in this lieutenant and get counters here,
Nice.
here, and then I'll pass the turn.
Go.
Now, do I want to move this vial up to 3 or just vial in the image?
I don't know.
I think I'd rather just vial in the image and leave myself with more options. So let's do that and trigger the bugler.
Yep.
Well, we hit 1 card at least. Let's get a Thalia, which is not bad. And now I can crack a canopy.
I'm so dead.
Name human again and play Thalia, and then take 1 and play a Thalia's lieutenant. So
Yeah, you win.
14.
You win. Can't do anything next turn. All right, we're here for game 3. Even though I've lost the match already, we're going to continue to play just to see a little bit more post-board games. This is more for y'all than us, but also, I just want to play games with this deck. This deck's sweet.
Want to get a win.
Might not be good, but it's sweet. My hand's pretty sweet. How's yours?
My hand is fine. Once again, we're a tad bit slow, but we've got a good mix of stuff. So
Okay. Start with the best one. Oh, gut shot again. Oh, got him. You're just not gonna. You're not gonna play stuff for a while, or
no, we can't let Todd get too much mana. He starts like cantripping. He's got enough food. Like we're not gonna be able to outpace it. We've got and he didn't play a fetch land there, so he needs fetch land plus spell.
yeah.
To activate. So I'm just gonna play champion.
Oh, fetch land.
If he can't activate this turn, we can potentially get champion out of Grim range with Thalia's lieutenant. Yeah. Now he's gonna have to use a removal spell here.
Yeah. Wizard's lightning it and hit you for 1.
I'm at 19.
Me too. Oh no, I'm not. I'm at 20. Your turn.
That is not great. How do I want to play this?
That's what I thought.
Playing this doesn't really do a whole lot. Yeah, I think I'm gonna name human here and just play a Thalia's lieutenant into this Grim. I need to get to this stage of the game, so if we can do that, we've got a shot.
Go.
Okay. Attack for 1.
What in the heck?
Oh, there's a Mutavault over there.
Oh,
My
okay.
bad.
Sorry.
Didn't notice the Mutavault at first.
It's okay.
Okay, pass the turn.
All right. In your turn, I'll play Vendilion Click.
Sure.
Target myself.
Yes.
Delver on bottom.
Okay. I'm bottom.
Oh, sorry. Yes.
Don't
yes.
get to feel your Grimlock Mancer.
Yeah. Sorry.
The Vendilion Click there. Hold the phone, buddy.
I want to get beat down on. All right. Attack for 5.
14.
Go.
Ugh.
Don't worry. Even if you hit your line drop, you're still 100% dead.
Was I?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
Okay. Sure.
Counter.
Yep.
Attack for 2.
No, I'm gonna take 1. Get a mountain. Gonna shoot this and then Wizard's Lightning that.
You can go. Yeah.
Should I just Wizard's Lightning you? That puts you at 11? Hold on. Let me do some quick maths. 11 leaves. Nah, things can go wrong. Whatever. I'm pretty sure you're dead no matter what
He's killing
happens.
stuff. I need to hit a third land drop. I
6
go
puts you to 8. Your turn.
And that is not a third land drop. Freebooter. You can go.
Fetch, snap. You, this. Right, 3, 6, 7. Oh, no, you're at 8. Hold on.
No, oh yeah, I'm at 8.
All right, I'll fetch. Go to
18.
Yep. Get islands. Wait. So if I next this,
You get to give me the 2.
this 3, 4, 5, 6. Put you to 2 with no graveyard.
You can't activate both mutable and fumarole.
Yeah. I'm not gonna play Snapcaster. I'm just gonna pop this, leaving a lightning, and then
And then attack me for 6.
oh yeah, and then then I do this. Sorry, that's what I thought. I was like,
Yeah.
wait, what?
Yeah, I had 2 buglers in my openers, didn't find land 3. I drew Staticaster, and I thought, like, if I hit land 3 for it two turns ago, maybe I got a shot.
All right, so I think those games were at least a fair representation of the matchup. Game 1, you saw your disruptive stuff kind of do its thing in the matchups where the disruption is not particularly great. We saw Meddling Mage lock down Lightning Bolt. The second one locked down Wizard's Lightning after I'd already played both copies of Burst Lightning. But you still have to play this dance of, do I play around me having a flash blocker,
Yeah,
And
I picked the wrong one.
yeah, but I mean,
I had reasons.
no, there was a certain point where I could have cycled a Nimble Obstructionist and didn't, and I knew I could have. I specifically didn't because I knew I needed to be able to have something to deal with your 3/3 Meddling Mage, because there was the one turn where you attacked with the 2 Reflector Mages, I think, and not the Meddling Mage. It was a 3/3.
Yeah.
And that was the spot where I was like, okay, the jig is up. This is bad. This Lightning Bolt's gonna rot in my hand for a while. Anyway, so I think you turning the corner there and attacking wasn't necessarily bad. Naming Vendilion Clique over Nimble Obstruction wasn't necessarily bad. It was just 3-2. And the number
and
of
I
left
had a
in my
reason
deck.
to sway towards the 2, so that sort of swayed it for me. Eventually drew a Mantis Rider to close, and I could have violated the Mantis Rider the very next turn when I drew it, but I figured you would have another removal spell, so I sent it with my things, got you low, you used your resources, and then the Mantis Rider finished you off. That was a game where we both flooded a bit, and Mantis Riders is a really good late game draw. Game 2, I just kind of steamrolled you. And
Yeah, I kept a one-liner with 4 red cards and no red mana. I got lucky to hit the red, but I was kind of bottlenecked from double spelling, and your deck also just had its engine going with Buglers,
Bugler
copying
Vial.
it. Even Sin Collector is really good. And I think after sideboard, this matchup just gets so hard. And Bugler is a huge addition to the archetype against decks like Blue-Red Wizards, where after board, and mainly my game plan is just to kill everything. And I don't have this big card draw engine to replenish my resources after I kill something. So if I'm not able to actually apply pressure to you while I'm killing your creatures, then I'm fighting a losing battle, because you have so many cards that can generate effectively a 2-for-1, if not an actual 2-for-1. You have Phantasmal Image to copy stuff. You have Thall's Lieutenant to push things out of burn range. So maybe this deck needs a little help in this matchup, because I'm already bringing in 8 cards, or maybe it's just not a good matchup. I don't know.
It's one of those things where you think against the 37 creature deck, you're a bunch of good removal spells and Snapcasters is going to be good enough. And there's a reason Humans was dominating Modern for a month, and it took a deck like Jeskai that's 14 main deck removal spells with sweepers and card draw, to even have a significantly positive matchup. And Bugler helps you out in all of those. Like I bugled at some point in game 1, right? I think I did. Did I not?
No, I think you did in game 2, and you found an image, and then I basically had to main phase all my removal spells, because if you copied anything, at any point, that was bad.
I 2-for-1'd you with Sin Collector in game 2, and then I bugled into Image and copying Bugler into Thalia. So I got a 3-for-1 and a 2-for-1 out of my 37 creature deck.
Yeah.
And while doing it at tempo while you were stumbling. But then you have the matchups or the games where you're playing 19 lands, you don't have a vial. I missed my 3rd land drop. That's a thing that happens.
No, for sure. I think the majority of the games where the humans decks keeps the 2-lander and doesn't draw a land, like it just can't win. Like you have so many dead draws where if you don't hit your 3rd land, like you're just going to stumble too much. Like you're never going to be able to double spell. And I think that against a deck like Blue Red Wizards, like being able to double spell to kind of overtake my cheap spell advantage. Like my cards effectively cost 1 across the board, or maybe 2, and if you're not able to double spell, I'm able to keep up with you pretty easily.
Yeah, I think one thing that could help out your side of the matchup is some way to gain some card advantage. Grim Lavamancer is basically the only card that does it. You don't have any creatures that like sit on the battlefield and can blank multiple of my attackers. All your creatures are pretty high power, low toughness.
Yep.
So when they block, they're trading. At best. So if you're not able to really outpace me in the early game and kill all my early stuff and land a threat and start pressuring me very quickly, which is tough to do, then you're really stuck in this pattern of block everything, kill everything, and hope you flood more than I do, which is not the worst plan given that you have 6 utility lands between Fumarole and Mutavault.
Right.
And in game 1, it looked that way. Like I flooded early, and I thought you were going to take over with the creature lands, but it turned out you just drew a couple counter spells. And so the fact that you had 4 cards in hand wasn't that threatening, because 2 of them were dead.
Yeah, the turn where you Reflector Mage my double Mutavault block was pretty devastating. I could have mitigated that by playing a little bit differently. It came across my mind the moment where I blocked, and I was just like, I kind of want this to happen. I just want to get punished super hard for this. Just you get punished once and you're just like, okay, that will never happen again.
Yeah, the 2-for-1 that I got there was enough to let that Mantis Rider at the end of the game roam free. If you have the 1 extra bolt, you kill the Mantis Rider, you're still at 5 life, you're drawing off the top, you were hitting opt into.
Yeah, I would have had 1 extra Mutavault in play to mess with the 2/2 Meddling Mage, so I didn't have to bolt it when I was at 5.
Would have saved you significant. You might have even had more life than that by trading earlier for that mage.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure. So yeah, that 1 2-for-1 was enough, combined with the fact that you have dead cards in the main. But I think if a game like that happens in post-board games where I flood, you're going to look a lot better because you don't have as many dead cards.
I mean, I agree to an extent, but after sideboard, you have so many cards that generate these 2-for-1s that I don't even know that that's the case, because at some point you're going to draw a Bugler, and you're either going to have a Vial on 3 or a Cavern of Souls, or you'll flood out, but one of your lands is going to be a Horizon Canopy, so that mitigates that draw, or you're just going to hit a Sin Collector and 2-for-1 me, and that basically strips all my relevant resources. I think the only way this deck can really win is to do exactly what I did in game 3, which is play something like a Vanilla Click or an Obstructionist, and then use that to pressure you while killing stuff. And if I don't do that, like you said, I'm not a Jeskai deck. Like I don't have Jace Mind Sculptor, I don't have Teferi, Hero of Dominaria. I don't have these card draw engines to refuel after I trade all these 1-for-1s. Whereas your deck, not only are you applying pressure to me, so you're putting the impetus on me to actually react, you're also able to refuel very easily with Bugler, Phantasmal Image, and do 2-for-1s to lower my resource count with Sin Collectors. So
yeah,
I think that you're in really good shape, especially because I have so many bad cards in game 1.
Yeah, we noted before we played that I wanted to see how Bugler played in this matchup. I played a lot of humans before Bugler was printed. I think you played a little with the deck as well. Mm-hmm. And Bugler, I think, changed a matchup like this a lot.
Oh, for sure.
A matchup where the opposing deck doesn't have a lot of card advantage, just Grim and Snap, and giving this deck another set of 2-for-1s and a way to find my relevant sideboard cards, my Sin Collectors, my Staticasters, things like that, is just really powerful. And it stops you from puttering out if they have Bolt, Snap Bolt for your first 2 big threats. Mm-hmm. Then you're not just sitting there with like a Noble Hierarch and a Kite Self Rebooter, a tap Plinkin for 2 while they're playing other things. So Bugler definitely seemed to help in a matchup like this, which on the surface isn't a matchup where you would expect a lot of help because they're a tempo deck, but the way they approach the matchup, just becoming this removal heavy thing, is pretty different. I wonder if there's like some sort of sweeper for non-flyers you can play, like an earthquake effect.
There's Rough Tumble.
Yeah, you got to deal 3, I think. Maybe
You don't
2 is
have
enough?
to. I mean, your only 3s are your 3 drops, and like, I mean, I guess you can get your early stuff up to 3. So I mean, Rough Tumble's probably not good enough, but traditionally in Delver decks, that is the sweeper of choice
Yeah,
in various
Definitely was
older
Legacy.
formats.
Maybe you go like rough and then use a bolt to finish off something bigger.
Yeah,
something like that.
the problem is anything that deals 3 to everything is going to cost 3 mana, and that's not acceptable when Thalia Garden of Thraben exists.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a lose-lose situation. I don't know. I think Staticaster is just the only thing you can do that's really backbreaking, that doesn't get hit by Thalia, and can kill multiple things for 3 mana. So.
Yeah.
All right, that's going to be all for me and Mr. Merriam today, but we got 2 more videos, Thursday and Friday, for y'all, featuring the Blue-Red Wizards deck as we continue through this Modern Gauntlet. I believe tomorrow we have Mardu Pyromancer.
That's going to be another tough one.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Blue-Red deck can actually keep up with that one. Game 1, I think Lingering Soul is a pretty big problem. Most of my creatures have 1 toughness. But, you know, we do have things like Lavamancer. We can actually burn you out. And if you don't draw Lingering Souls, I think I have a pretty significant edge.
Yeah.
I think after Game 1, you know, I'll have access to a few things that are pretty problematic for you. For example, where is it? Oh, yeah, Staticasters. I think Entrancing Melody is not that bad. Stealing Pyromancer seems pretty good, maybe.
That's about all it does.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's another big test for this deck.
Yeah, we waffle between playing Mardu or Jund, and I think that Jund is a little bit better for Blue-Red, but I don't want easy matchups for Blue-Red. I want either the best decks in the format or really hard decks, because, you know, to break into Modern, you have to be very good.
Yeah. And there are 3 sort of Thoughtseize, heavy disruption, mid-range decks. They're Jund, Mardu Pyromancer, and Grixis Shadow. And right now, I think Mardu is the most popular of the 3, so that's the one we want to go up against. So we're going to have that for you tomorrow. We got Blue-White Miracles on Friday. We've seen a lot of Blue-White recently on the SCG Tour, with the exception of the last tournament of Indianapolis. Blue-White has risen along with Jeskai, even though hasn't been quite as popular. But we've seen a lot of this Blue-White Miracles deck online, so we wanted to test that one out. Well, that'll be a fun one. The Nimble Obstructionist countering Miracle Trigger of Terminus is going to be a neat interaction. So
Yeah.
that'll be a fun one Friday coming up. But for today, Humans versus Blue-Red Wizards, that is going to be all. I'm Ross Merriam for Todd Stevens. We'll see you tomorrow.
It's not my name.
It's Todd Anderson. It's
not
got a
my
different name.
I get it so much. I hate you so much right now.